So now I've got the first glass wall modeled, and you can see that I've copied that glass wall around to pretty much all the sections of the building that fit. I know that the back portion of the building is actually a solid panel system, so it's not as open and not as glassy in the back. In fact, it's fairly plain. So what we'll do next is we're going to add the glass doors. There's a pair of glass doors in the center of the building, and then there's also some right on the opposite side of the kitchen. So we'll go through and we'll create the glass door system that's going to go into those locations. And truthfully, it's going to be exactly how we did the first enclosure. I'm going to create a rectangle, zoom in a little bit, and create the bottom portion of one of my doors. From there, I will turn that into a component, and I'm going to call it glass door 1. And make sure it says replace with selection and click create. Now I'm going to follow the same procedure that I did with the walls. So I'm going to just double click on that component, and then we're going to raise that door all the way up to the underside of the beam. Now keep in mind that even though we're trying to reference construction techniques and how the building is put together, we're not necessarily modeling every single piece of the building. We're really just trying to create a reference to what we think it looks like. So now that I've got that single door panel, let's do this just for fun. Let's make a copy of that panel, and you can see how the component feature works. I'm going to copy it into the other places where I believe those double doors exist, at least on the front side of the building. And again, that's just using the move command and holding down the control key. And again, don't be afraid to hold down or to use the end grips as a reference. And let's copy that. Over to this side as well. So it's kind of an interesting intersection in that back corner. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit, and we're going to move this one over to the outside frame like it would be on the other side, and hit zoom extents. Again, without construction documents, we're not exactly sure how that piece intersects at the column, but it appears like at that point it doesn't go through the flange. So now we can select one of our doors, and we're going to add the glass panel, and we're going to make it to match the existing frame system. So I'm going to double click on one of those components, offset, and grab one edge of the panel and offset 4 inches. And I clicked too quickly, so I'm going to grab it again and slide that in and type in 4 inches. And now you can see all 4 of the doors are showing that frame system, and I can push that piece out till it vanishes. And then we'll go in. We're going to add materials later. I know some of you guys are anxious to get into it, but we will add the materials for the glass later. Right now, I just want to add the pane in that creates the glass. So I'm going to select a rectangle, and I'm going to draw it from the center of one section of the frame and slide down and add it to the other section. Notice right now if I were to click, it would draw kind of a goofy line. We want to make sure that everything we draw is planar, so I've got to hit the center. You can see how my boundary box turned red, showing that it is definitely on an axis. So now I've got my glass doors in where the kitchen goes, and I'm going to go ahead and then we will just copy those doors to the other side of the building.